Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rohdey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day and welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian Fishing Podcast, episode 131. We've got two huge guests. We've got Dizzy on the phone. He's been at the Port Lincoln Tuna Comp. Diz, welcome to the podcast.
Mate, good to be here. This reminds me of the COVID days where we used to, of course, follow by the restrictions and join each other virtually. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm just cracking my my Carlton draft. We're over in Melbourne, so I'm supporting the locals. So, yes, it does remind me of that, Diz. I'm set up here with the mixer and the laptop. You're back at home sort of nursing a bit of a, feeling a bit sorry and tired for yourself after a big weekend at the Tuna Comp. But we've got a couple of big guests to get to as well, Diz. So we'll get into them, we'll talk about them, and then we'll come into the Port Lincoln Comp.
Absolutely, mate. Can't wait. I think this is called the post-Port Lincoln Tuna Classic Blues. I'm certainly feeling it, but really looking forward to getting this. This is going to be a good episode. So let's get stuck into oranges and lemons. Rohdey, you get going first, mate.
Dizzy, like I said, I'm over in Melbourne, or I'm actually down in the Mornington Peninsula, down at Rosebud, and my orange is just revisiting childhood holidays. We used to come down here for 3 or 4 weeks every year and spend a lot of summer here, and it's been nice just doing some of the same things. Been down the Portsea pub for dinner tonight, and just really sort of, it's a bit of a flashback moment. So it's good to come back and holiday over this part of the world. It's a nice part of the world, Diz.
You feel like much has changed, or?
Oh, I've got a bit bigger and you're allowed to drink beers at the pub now, but that's about it.
Very good, very good. All right, well, you roll us straight into your lemon, mate.
Look, Diz, I came over here. Look, I've got 2 travel rods and I've got Lil's rod. I've got a bunch of rigs. I've got squid jigs. I had all the plans to hire a boat. There used to be about 6 or 8 different hire boat companies, sort of along Dramana, Rosebud, Rye. Guess what? They're all shut, every single one of them.
Oh, no way.
I didn't even check, to be honest, but I assumed at least one of them was still operating. So I can't even hire a tinny.
Oh, that's horrible news. There mustn't have been much of a market for them if they've all closed.
Well, I didn't know whether insurance had got too expensive. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Good point. All right, well, I'll roll into my orange then, mate.
Here comes. Hold on. Here comes the jealousy. Here we go. Go on.
Yeah. Look, you will be a bit jealous of this one, mate. The Port Lincoln Tuna Classic is obviously my orange. It was a absolutely fantastic weekend. Got down there on Thursday night. I won't run through all the specifics because we're going to come back to this later, but it was undoubtedly one of the best weekends of fishing I've ever had. 138 fish over 2 days. Weather was absolutely insane. And like I say, let's pause it there because we're going to do a bit more of a detailed wrap-up of the weekend in later on in today's episode.
Diz, you're making me jealous already and you haven't even given us any details. Have you got any lemons? Did anything go wrong?
Look, I'll give you a lemon. I did catch the Spencer Gulf Sea Road. It was my debut on the Spencer Gulf Sea Road on the way home. And look, my lemon is going to be basically that I just really feel sorry for anybody that had to look at me on that Spencer Gulf Sea Road. I reckon I'd sat down for all of about 2 minutes and then I was basically fell straight asleep. I'm sure I was probably drooling on myself. My neck was at right angles, trying to sleep upright in the chair. I would have looked absolutely like a shell of a human after what was a huge few days on the water and a couple of cold ones in between here and there.
Do you think it was worse than you getting on the ferry, the KI ferry home from your buck show?
Oh, look, it would have been up there.
Because you were ugly that day.
I was pretty ugly. I don't have a really good track record here coming home on ferries, do I?
You're no good on ferries on a Sunday after a big weekend.
I was definitely not sick. It was quite nice, a little bit of chop on the water, but I also didn't realise how long that ferry is. It's 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow. That's longer than I thought too.
Yeah, I don't know whether maybe it's not as quick, and it's clearly a bit further than the backstairs passage from Cape Jarvis to Penshaw. But, 2.5 hours. I didn't have that booked in my calendar. I was kind of thinking hour and a half tops.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours.
Very good. All right, Diz. Well, I'm getting on the ferry from Sorrento to Queenscliff on Wednesday, so I'll see if I can't get more hungover than that for that one.
Yeah. You'll be seasick, though, if you do that.
Oh, watch out. Anyway, Diz, I'm going to give you a little update on a couple of things on the social media, Diz, and this is something we're going to touch on in a minute, but there's a nice little picture I've put up of our Allthorpe's article, Diz.
Oh, yes, I did see that. Yeah. Some of your better work there, mate. Lucy must be pretty happy to feature yet again in another SA Angler article.
Yes, so we are talking SA Angler. We've written another article, which we are going to touch on a little bit later with Shane Mensforth, who's one of our two guests tonight, Diz. But we've got a 5 or 6 page article all about Allthorpe's. There is a nice photo of Lucy and I with a blue Morwong or a queen snapper, and that drone photo is pretty cool too. I really rate those drone photos we took off Allthorpe's that day too, Diz.
Yeah, no, we've had some great missions out of Allthorpe's, a lovely, lovely part of South Australia, and I think it's probably worthwhile pointing out to everyone that Lucy did catch that blue Morwong, and you certainly did, which is no great surprise. She definitely outfishes you anytime she comes on our boat. Very good, and we're very much looking forward to having a chat with Shane in today's episode. We didn't probably make a big enough deal out of the double guest, Rohdey. It's pretty big for us. We drop a couple of double guests here and there, but we haven't had one for a while.
We haven't, Diz. So as you talk about that, we should get into the news and we should find our first guest.
Rohdey and Diz have been searching far and wide to bring you the latest news across all fishing in the state, and we'll give you the rundown on what you need to know.
All right, Dizzy, we are going to have a little chat here with a special guest, Simon Schwerdt from Marine Safety SA. We've had him on previously. I think that was late last year, Diz. We chatted with Simon. And this time we are going to get him on and we're going to talk about a nice little program that Marine Safety are running, the Stay Afloat program. So let's get him on the line.
Righto, Rohdey. We are very lucky to be joined by Simon from Marine Safety SA, who's going to talk us all through the latest and greatest of what they're doing to keep us all safe out on the water. Rohdey, we're really looking forward to this one. And Simon, thank you very much for joining us.
No worries, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful, Simon. We had you on December, so it actually hasn't been that long. We're lucky to have you back again.
Yeah, that's right. Just before Christmas. Then we had some good news at the start of the year with the release of the recreational boating safety strategy.
Beautiful, and that's what we want to talk to you about. So let's talk about that, Simon. Tell us about the strategy and what it involves and what it means for all us fishers.
Yeah, so I guess one of the key action points for the strategy today is how we can influence boaters through some practical education. We've got a lot of education tools on our website and our social media pages. But one thing we've released this year, and it's already started, it's underway, is the Stay Afloat life jacket maintenance clinic. And that's where you'll see the marine safety officers out at local boat ramps and other locations doing life jacket maintenance and education clinics.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I really love this program. We did a article on this in a fishing magazine, SA Angler, quite some time ago, and when we were sort of burying our heads in it a bit, we started to really get ourselves a bit more up to scratch on what we need to do to make sure our life jackets are well maintained and ready to go in the event that we might need them. So, Simon, talk us through what people out there could expect at one of the clinics.
Yeah, so you'll see our education trailer and that's a big education trailer. We've got the TV in there. We've got all our promotional education material, and we're running 4-hour clinics where we're on site for 4 hours, and there's a specific life jacket maintenance session. So that life jacket maintenance session goes through about an hour. We've had lots of people coming to the site, but we try and do, a 1-hour session where people can bring along their life jackets, and we go through a maintenance checklist for them and basically pass or fail their life jackets. So what we do is we do a general inspection. We're checking it for signs of wear and damage, making sure that it's in standard as well. So a lot of your listeners, and last time we spoke about that Australian standard change, and then making sure all this, the stitching, the reflective tape, the bladder's not damaged. Your cylinders also in good working order as well. There's no signs of corrosion. Weighing the cylinder as well. And then, of course, we're making sure that it's, clean and dry, and checking, all those expiry dates on the cartridges as well. And an exciting thing as well is there's actually a couple of freebies for people that arrive as well, which is pretty cool. So, we are giving out replacement canisters, and also some crutch straps at the clinic as well to make sure that, people are wearing their life jacket properly and they're fixing their crutch strap.
Beautiful, Simon. That sounds really good. Now, this is not about people, getting punished if their life jacket's not in condition or anything like that. It's more of an education tool. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%. So I guess we've strategically planned the clinics. They're all up on our website at the moment, and I can almost guarantee that there's no compliance activities at these clinics. It's purely ed focused. We really want people to come to us, and then we can just run through the important safety checks for them. We're also fielding any questions about boating safety as well, and just there for a chat. We're there for 4 hours. The clinics go for an hour. The actual sessions go for an hour, but that doesn't mean someone can't come through with their jacket, and we can check it out and go through that maintenance checklist for them. And there's no fines for these ones. Beautiful,
good to hear, Simon. And then people learn the skills to do that again every season. Is that sort of the plan, that you equip people to do it themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So part of that final handover is, we educate them on, that self-servicing, should be occurring, every year. And then, normally your second or third year service really should be done by an accredited provider. And that information on where the local accredited providers are in South Australia is just through the lifejackets.org.au website. So you can go on there and see a list of accredited retailers. But, the first couple of years, important for people to know how to just, do those annual inspections for themselves.
Yeah, it's a great point you make, because we all know how important having a life jacket, wearing a life jacket, and making sure that it's ready to go in the time of need. So I love it how this is a public education piece, and hopefully people do kind of learn those tips and tricks that they can sort of schedule in their calendar, Rohdey. Sometimes they might do that in kind of early September, something like that, before they're going to get the boat a bit more used and whatever. They'll do an audit on their life jackets and all their safety equipment and everything in between. So we love it that you guys are out there doing this piece, mate. We can't thank you and your teams for all the hard work that you do, and I'm sure you're going to have a huge impact on the safety of everyone out on the water.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We've got clinics coming up this Saturday at O'Sullivan's Beach, and then the one the following Friday, and then we're off to the Lucendale Field Day. So, we're not just going down to, North Haven, West Beach and Sully's. We are hitting the regions for this clinic. So down in the southeast, we'll be over on Yorks at Ardrossan in April, and then up in the Riverland in April as well, and then we'll finish up at Wallaroo at the back end of the season. So it'll be exciting to get out into the regions as well.
Beautiful, Simon. Like we said, very good that you're getting all across the state and keeping the country folk safe as well. So we love that.
No worries. Thank you.
Beautiful, Simon. Well, thanks a lot for coming on and updating us about the Stay Afloat campaign. Is there anything else you want to let people know as we sort of get to the later stages of summer? Any other messages to keep people safe on the water?
Yeah, I think the number one message, I guess, is if you're in doubt, head to the marinesafetysa.gov.au website. It's got all the up-to-date information on there. What life jacket do I need? What safety kit am I required to have? And how to use it as well. And all of our upcoming clinics are on there as well, so you can see the time and dates for that. Bring your life jacket down, and if not, just come and say g'day, and we'll help you out.
Love it, Simon. That has been extremely helpful. As it says on your website, plan ahead, gear up and stay safe. We couldn't agree anymore. Thank you very much for coming on the show again. We look forward to keeping across everything and the great work that you guys do at Marine Safety SA. And, we look forward to keeping in touch. I'm sure the clinics will go very well. And thank you again for all your hard work.
No worries. Thanks, fellas.
Great to have a chat with Simon, mate. They are doing some wonderful work keeping us all safe out on the water, and all of these public awareness campaigns and checking up on people's life jackets. It's just another great thing to keep all the boaties safe out on the water.
Certainly is, Diz, and this is it's a really good thing, this maintaining your life jackets, because there would be a lot of people that, fish 2 or 3 or go boating 2 or 3 times a year. They buy these life jackets at their local tackle shop. The canisters get rusty, the zips sort of wear over and fill up with corrosion, and they just are in no good nick, and they're not actually going to do anything to save your life. So it's good to see them, A, helping people to do this, but B, doing it in a way that you can then go away and do it yourself the year after and the year after that, and keep your life jackets in tip-top nick.
Yeah, good call, Rohdey. I love it how it's a combination of practical help and support for those who can make it down there, but also, like we said, some really good public awareness and education for those who might not be able to get down there, so that they can keep themselves safe for years and years to come. So that's really good. Well done, team there. What else we got in the news, Rohdey?
Dizzy, there has been, we talked about this a lot at the end of last year, and it was the review that was taking place, so the Allocation Review Committee. So I think they met about the week before Christmas, Diz, and I know Recfish was involved in that, and they've come up with, we've now sort of had a press release saying what they've sort of announced as a result of those meetings they had, Diz, and it's good news, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is, mate. It's definitely been something that we've sort of been waiting, whether there was going to be any drastic changes, whether they were going to review bag limits of whiting and some other really popular species. But give the listeners a bit of an update. But like you say, it's good news.
So it has been good news, Diz. So the King George whiting and the southern garfish, the Allocation Review Committee will defer their decision until the marine scalefish fishery harvest strategy has sort of been finalised and worked through. So that's going to be something that we keep an eye on, but that means at the moment it stays at the bag limit of 10. Which means that they've said that the biomass is sustainable for the moment. So we think that's a good outcome, Diz. And that's really good news, Diz. So that's the garfish and the whiting. The sand crabs, they've said, ideally through increasing the recreational access to sand crabs. So they're recommending that the sector should be managed back within their allocation. So the amount of sand crabs you take could potentially increase in the future, Diz. So that's really good. But probably the big bit of news isn't necessarily a change to our own recreational bag or boat limits, but the Allocation Review Committee has recommended that the commercial sector be managed back within their allocation of 0.12% of the total catch of yellowtail kingfish. So that's sort of always been the actual number, but it's never really been policed or it's never been stuck to. So they're recommending that we go back firm on this percentage. So that's a good result, Diz, and well done to Recfish for working towards that.
Yeah, we love that. It's great work from Wreckfish and very pleasing result for all of those who do love getting down and chasing a kingfish, and certainly great news that they're taking some positive steps towards making that fishery sustainable into the future, Rohdey.
It is, Diz, and I know there's been a bit of skepticism about this one. I know I did read a few of the cynics are saying that there's nothing stopping these netters from targeting salmon theoretically, and then catching all these kingfish as bycatch and then selling them. And apparently that's a bit of a loophole, but hopefully something can be worked out with that.
Yeah, hopefully they do crack down on some of those loopholes and don't allow those sorts of things to happen, because, you know, as it did a few years ago and seems to pop up every year, is some of that footage of them netting some of those big schools of kingfish is not good to see.
Certainly not, Diz. Now let's keep moving, and we're going to go back to the abalone that we've talked about a lot over the last. It's been this summer and last summer. So there's now been a no-take zone put in place from the River Murray mouth all the way to the Victorian border. So that's the whole southern zone has been shut down due to the ongoing impact of the abalone viral ganglioneuritis outbreak, so AVG. So that's now in effect straight away. So no targeting abalone. You still can go and dive for some crayfish. But interestingly, Diz, they're saying here, SARDI surveys indicate losses of up to 96% of abalone stock in some areas. That's a huge number.
Oh, that is a huge number. That's catastrophic, mate, and really not good to hear.
Certainly isn't, Diz. Now, that's something that we'll keep an eye on. I don't know how long that will stay closed for. I don't know whether that's something that has just occurred again now due to the warm weather, like it happened again in summer last year and it's happened again in summer now. Maybe it's a water temperature thing, and as the water cools down, it will sort of go back to normal, but who knows? So PIRSA are encouraging everyone to practice good biosecurity measures, and that's all about cleaning your gear and your boat and all your dive bags and all that sort of stuff, making sure it's all clean and dry and all that sort of stuff, Diz.
Yeah, it's certainly very important, I think, to hear some of those numbers and understand how bad this is for the fishery and some people's livelihoods and everything in between. It's not much to ask to clean your gear down properly and make sure that you take every step you can to stop the spread of this one, Rohdey.
All right, Diz, that's a short, sharp and shiny news segment. We've got lots more to get into, but let's start with our tackle item of the week.
Now it's time for Rohdey and Diz to really show you what it means to have all the gear with a lot of idea as they review a tackle item of the week.
All right, Rohdey, this week's tackle item of the week is going to be something that we got a bit of use out of over in the Port Lincoln Tuna Classic, as did a lot of other boats, I'm sure. And it is the Icky Pick. So this is, of course, Matt Girrell's product. We had him on the podcast a few episodes ago. It is an Icky Jimmy spike to brain spike a fish, but it is a very brilliant ergonomic yellow handle, and it does come with the added bonus of it being a bottle opener too. It's a fantastic product. It's got a bit of sort of rubber tubing that goes over the top of the brain spike so that you sort of protect yourself while you've got it out on the boat and stop it smacking around. It's just a really well-designed piece of kit, isn't it, Rohdey?
It is, Diz. Obviously, I wasn't there on the weekend, but we've had one. What did I say? We talked about it in the last podcast. I reckon we've had one for 6 or 7 years, and it's as good as the day we bought it. It's been sitting on our boat. We've used the bottle opener a lot. We've used it as a brain spike a lot, and it's just a really good product. So Matt was generous enough to, I think he put some in some of the packs. Is that right, Diz, for the Port Lincoln Tuna Comp?
Yeah, they were in the captain's bag, so that was really good. He donated some of his full Icky Jimmy kits, which were part of some of the prizes, which was fantastic to see. And, of course, the fishing competition over there, Rohdey, as I'm sure our listeners know when we've talked about the comp in the past, single hooks only, very dominant catch and release, basically catch and release only unless you're keeping one for the Calcutta. So they love sustainability and looking after your catch. So it was a perfect fit to get Matt Durrell and his products over there to showcase for all the fishermen and fisherwomen that were there, Rohdey. It was a great, great thing.
Very good. Now, Diz, one question. You mentioned, so it's got a spike, a metal spike, a brain spike on one end and a bottle opener on the other end. Which one did you use more over the weekend?
Oh, mate, we used the bottle opener way more.
And how many fish did you catch? I don't want to jump into the fishing report.
Well, we got 138 over 2 days. We got close to, it was about 85 on day one. And then day two, we couldn't quite match that same amount, but we got close to 148 fish in the end.
Wow, well, I was going to say that's a lot of brain spiking, but I suppose most of them were released good to go, weren't they?
Yeah, all of them. We kept one for Tony's dad, who was keen on us bringing one back for him to eat, and we, of course, brain spiked that, let it, took care of it, iced it down straight away. But it was not going to be big enough to win anything in the Calcutta, so we didn't weigh it in, and we kept it on ice until the next day and dropped it off to Tony's dad, and I'm sure he's enjoying a bit of sashimi as we speak.
Very good. All right, Diz, that's a great tackle item of the week, the icky pick. Now let's get into our guest, Diz. We're going to get Shane Mensforth. He is you'd call him the doyen of, is that the right word? The doyen of South Australian fishing, Diz?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't really know what that word means exactly, but I feel like Shane fits.
It does. We've had him on before, like you say, a fantastic guest, absolutely loves his fishing. Let's get him on the line to hear all about this edition of SA Angler.
Now it's time to get our guest on the line. We'll ask them the all-important 5 questions, then chat all things fishing in SA.
All right, Dizzy, we are lucky to be joined again on the podcast by Shane Mensforth, the man behind SA Angler, along with his son Brett, who we've also had on the show. Shane, welcome aboard.
Cheers, boys. Nice to be back with you.
Mate, it's good to have you on the show, and thank you very much. Before we get stuck into a few things, give the listeners a bit of an update of some of your most recent fishing. You've been doing well?
Look, mate, like everyone else who lives in South Australia, I've been really annoyed with the wind. Yeah. So we've been sort of fishing one day, then missing 10, fishing one day, missing 10. I've been in Tumby Bay now for nearly a week, and we've had today the only day we get the boat on the water. We've got some nice whiting. We've got 21 big whiting out of the group and some big trevally and bits and pieces. Had a great day, but now the forecast again, it's all going to poo again, and it's going to be out on the water for the next 4 days.
And have you had a good summer on York Peninsula? Crabs and yellowfin whiting? What's been on the cards?
Mate, crabs. We almost got sick of eating crabs, almost. Wow. It's just been an amazing season for blue swimmers, but yellowfin whiting not so much on our side. They're a bit scarce. They have been for 2 years now, so still a few on the other side, in the Spencer Gulf side, but no, we're struggling a bit. But squid and crabs, mate, that's what we've been concentrating on for the last 6 weeks, and plenty of both.
Awesome, mate. That's good to hear. Now, tell us a bit about Tumby. Is that a regular trip for you? Is it a place in South Australia that you love visiting? Tell us a bit about it.
Mate, I've been coming to Tumby for 30 years. Got a lot of really good friends here, and I've got a cousin who lives here, and we're sort of staying with her as we do every year. Brought the boat, brought the bar crusher, so we live in the little shack next door to their house, and we go fishing when we can. But I love Tumby. It's one of the most beautiful places in South Australia. If I didn't have family in Adelaide, I'd be living over here for sure.
It is a beautiful part of the world over there. Now, Shane, tell us about the new edition of the magazine coming out very shortly, the autumn edition. Tell us what is in store.
Well, because it's autumn, and that generally means better weather, we've made it a bit sort of offshore heavy this time. We've got 3 or 4 nice sort of blue water stories. We have King, Samsons and all that tuna, all that sort of stuff. Taking in places like Althorpe Island, Wedge Island, south coast of KI, Port Lincoln. They're all blue water stories, and all very good ones. But then for those who don't head offshore, we've got a nice flathead piece by Leuven Pfeiffer, and Leuven bobs up again with a great story on cod and callop on lures, which is wonderful. And then just other bits and pieces. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. But as I said, it's a little bit blue water heavy this time, which we intended to do because it's the right time of year.
Very good. I'm glad you said the Althorp's article was good. That was making me nervous there for a minute, Shane.
No, I love what you guys do. You obviously, I get to edit everyone's words, and you guys write okay. You obviously went to school, which helps me a little bit.
I do always wonder whether it's you or Brett sitting there and picking up on our grammar and full stops and all that sort of stuff. I know it's not perfect, but we try our best.
No, it comes in looking pretty good and goes out looking better. So that's the main thing.
And Shane, can you tell us how's the online stuff going? What's that been? A year and a half now?
Going on to our second year. It's made it. To be honest, it's saved our bacon. We were struggling like most print magazines, and we went from 4,000 in our last print magazine up to over 20,000 readers online now, which is an amazing transformation.
Wow!
As it's really kept us alive. Print magazines across the board are really struggling. Actually, production costs, postage costs, whatever, they're really prohibitive now. So, if we hadn't gone the way we've gone, we probably would be dead and buried.
Well, that's really great to hear, mate. I'm glad that change you made has been a great success. We absolutely love contributing where we can. It can. We often share a beer over a few stories of the trip that's been and put a few words together. And most importantly, we love hearing about everybody else's stories. And like you say, there is always something for everyone in each edition. So it's a great piece of work that yourself and Brett put together, mate. And we really appreciate all the stuff you put into it.
Yeah, no, look, I enjoy it. And I'm sort of getting on a bit now. And as you know, that Brett's taken over the bulk of the work with the magazine. I just try and keep him in line and just keep things ticking over. But no, he puts his head down and bum up, and he's really doing a good job, and pretty proud of him for that. And
Shane, we always like to update you of sort of respectfully, you're the elder statesman of the fishing community here in South Australia. How do you think the rec fishing scene's going in the state at the moment?
Generally pretty good. I'm a bit concerned about what's going to happen with the snapper. I've been doing a lot of inshore whiting fishing lately, and all I can catch is snapper, but
welcome to the club. That's us too.
Yeah. No, look, I'm really hoping that it does come back online in 2026. Obviously, that's not set in stone, but that's the projected time, so we hope it does. But no, look, we're going okay. As I said, the crab management must be okay. It's one of the best blue crab seasons we've had in my memory, and one of the best garfish seasons too. So look, things are looking pretty healthy, I think.
Very good. Now, what's next, Shane? Coming into the cooler months, you're going to target those big barrel tuna down on the Marion Bay sort of area?
Yes, mate. I'm just hanging out, hoping that the Marion Bay boat ramp is finished in time. If these, we're all counting these fish before they get there, as you do. Yeah, but look, I'm just hoping the Marion Bay boat ramp is up and running because it's pretty close. Yeah, look, we're obviously as keen as anyone else to go have a crack. We got a couple of nice ones last year, and we'll be trying again, keeping our eye on what's happening down there. But all indications are the same thing's happening in Tasmania at the same time as last year. And if that's any indicator, we're in for another good one. So fingers crossed, and we'll definitely be hoping and looking and getting down there with them when they turn up.
That sounds good. Well, we're certainly looking forward to everything that you get up to, and we're hoping to get down there and have a bit of a crack ourselves. So all we can hope for is that weather plays the game and the fish turn up, and we'll all have a bit of fun along the way.
That sounds good, mate. They're great fish to catch, obviously, and even better to eat. I reckon one of my favourite things to eat is, I reckon the bigger the tuna are, the better they are to eat. The 100 kilo plus models are just about the best tuna you could eat, I reckon.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to this year. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed.
Beautiful, Shane. Well, thanks for coming on for a bit of an update on the upcoming edition of the magazine, and thanks for having our words in there. We love what you guys are doing, and we'll be sure to chat with you and Brett, Brett again soon.
Good on you guys. Just keep those stories coming. We love them.
Brilliant. Thanks, Shane.
All the best, guys.
All right, Dizzy, that was great to chat with Shane Mensforth from SA Angler. It sounds like another bumper edition. Make sure you jump on the social media pages and follow the link to the new edition. You can read up what we think about fishing at Althorpe's and heaps of other great gear in the magazine, as always.
Yeah, it was really good to have a chat with him. Great to hear that he's enjoying a bit more fishing time, but still contributing, as always, to SA Angler, and we just love the product they put together, Rohdey, and still it does boggle my brain a little bit that they let us two snoofters right on there.
Oh, as we've said before, mate, our English teachers at school would be very shocked and surprised.
Yes, they certainly would be.
All right,
Rohdey, what else have we got?
Let's get into the fishing report.
Rohdey and Diz have been out on the water to bring you the news about where they're biting. Now it's time for the fishing report.
All right, Dizzy, let's get straight into what we've already discussed a little bit, but let's talk about all things the Port Lincoln Tuna Classic.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, Rohdey. We had a lot of fun. You and I, of course, fished it last year on James's boat. We had a great weekend, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out for both of us to be able to go across this time, but managed to get across there myself on Tony's boat, the 27-foot Veitch middle of the Loo. It was an absolutely stunning boat, rode unbelievably well. We set a new record actually for Tony on his boat from Port Lincoln Marina to the Cabbage Patch in an hour and 20. So it's just a touch over 90 kilometres.
Wow.
And on the first day, getting there that quickly was quite amazing. We probably would have been at the patch a good half an hour or so before anybody else, I reckon.
And you sent me some videos. It looks like it rides unbelievably well. So it must have been a very pleasurable experience. What was the fuel bill like? Can I ask that?
Yeah, well, you certainly can. We used 500 litres of fuel over the 2 days in the end. So don't know exactly what the price per litre was, but if you rounded that out about a couple of bucks, it was $1,000 fuel bill. But look, we weren't too worried about saving on fuel at that shotgun start, mate. I've never seen someone slam the throttle down as hard as I did, Tony, and we managed to be first out past Donington, so that was pretty impressive to be the first boat out through there. It was a lovely morning. The weather absolutely turned it on again for the Tuna Classic. We had great weather last year, but this was a step up again in weather. It was absolutely oily flat all day on Sunday out at the Cabbage Patch. I think Tony said he reckons there'd probably only be 2 or 3 days like that in a year.
Oh, wow. So you fished the Cabbage Patch both days?
Yeah, we fished the patch both days. We sort of got a bit of intel on Friday that was the place to be. So we went out there. There were a number of other boats that did some fishing in other parts, Low Rocks, Neptunes, Wedge, Roslyn Shoal, and those sorts of things. And they had very, very few tuna caught. Some as low as 0, but most of the boats who didn't fish the patch really didn't get good numbers, and there was just fish everywhere out of the patch, and some of the commercial tuna fleet ended up being out there, and of course there were rules in place to give them the space that they need, and we couldn't be fishing around tuna pens and that sort of thing when they were towing them. So that was all good, but boy oh boy, on day 2, I reckon almost every single boat that was in the comp was fishing out of the patch, mate. There was boats everywhere.
Wow, now, Diz, you said 27 foot, so that puts you in the over 8 metre category, does it?
It does. It just puts us in the over 8 metre category. We were pushing very hard to try and catch first fish in the over 8 metre category, and we're probably only a matter of minutes off being able to secure that first fish for the over 8 metre.
That was the same as last year, wasn't it? We missed out by a minute.
Yeah, it was. We just missed out. And Shane and the crew on Heat Seeker, they did win it again, back to back. They got the under 8 metre category, and then Andrew from Catfish and his crew got the over 8 metre category. So
beautiful. Well, that would have helped with the fuel bill if you had to knock that one off.
Yeah, well, $650 would have gone a fair way to covering most of the fuel, so that would have been good. But there's always next year, mate.
There is. Now, Diz, let's smash through a few of these results. So the most fish caught by a small fry was Brock Samut from Checkmate. Caught 32 tuna. That's good going for a young fella, and I reckon he took it out last year, didn't he?
Well, I've got a feeling he might have taken it out, but I also think he may have actually caught the fish that got them second place last year.
Yeah, he's a good fisherman. And Diz, let's move into the junior male. I'm reading Mace Lukin, and he was aboard Millaloo with you.
He was. Mace went back-to-back, so he's gone 2 years in a row now winning the junior angler. We made sure that we had him on first strike at every opportunity. His arms, I reckon, on Monday would have almost fallen off. We certainly noticed that they're at least an inch or two longer each because he reeled in over 53 fish.
And how old's Mace?
Mace is, I think he's 15.
Oh, it's a big effort, isn't it?
16, something like that. He's young. He was sort of hitting the wall a bit late on day one, but we just got into him. We were like, mate, you got to go back to back. You're going to have to catch 60 fish to go back to back. We were setting the target of 60 fish. We're 7 short in the end, but luckily he got enough to take home the junior angler and. Yeah, got himself some nice prizes, that's for sure.
And were there enough triple, double sort of hookups that you got on the rod a bit as well?
Yeah, I got on the rod a bit. I probably caught, I think it would have been close to 30 fish in the end over the 2 days.
Yeah.
Dutchy, who fished with us, he probably came in second on the tally, and then Tony and I would have been somewhere around the same mark. We all had a turn.
If Tony was jumping on the rod sort of here and there, did he let you touch the wheel?
Oh, look, Tony had it all under control, mate. He was the skipper of all skippers. He really knew he had it absolutely dialed in. And, yeah, I sort of got up there and occasionally touched the throttle and that, but you got to leave that stuff up to the pros, mate.
All right, Diz, let's move into the champion females. So Melissa Relevnik into the blue, 48 release fish. She took out the champion female in under 8 metre boats. And in the over 8 metre boat, the champion female was Mandy Crawford, 70 fish aboard Riff Raff. So that's a huge effort. And in the over 8 metre runner-up for the male, Sorry. Well, let's go straight to the winner. So the champion male and the overall champion angler was Adam North with 100 fish. That is a massive effort, isn't it, Diz?
Oh, it absolutely was. Northie, he absolutely smashed it. Day one, I think his tally was something like 55 or 56 fish. He was absolutely smashing it. We could see them. They were a serious crew. They had it absolutely dialed in. And Northie is an absolute gun fisho.
Was he on the Vatican?
Yep, he was on the Vatican. So
I'm just reading here, the Vatican also had the runner-up male in the over 8 metre category, James Gogan, with 77 fish released.
Yeah. So I think James was about 10 fish behind Northie on day one, and then Northie just started smashing them on day two yet again, and really got stuck into him and got the prize. I think Northie has come second maybe 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, okay.
So it was just
he was a gun last year when we were talking
to
him too.
Yeah, he was, and I think he's basically this year gone, I'm not leaving anything up to chance here. I'm going to catch an absolutely obscene amount of fish and put this one to bed. And seeing him hold up the trophy, mate, it was all the smiles, especially for that crew who then also won the Calcutta.
They did, Diz. We'll get to that in a minute. So under 8 metre boat, the champion male was Brodie Roth, Yippee Kaye, 77 fish, and the runner-up was Tanner Barson from Excessive with 64 fish. So big congratulations to that. We should just touch on quickly, 2,180 was the total number of tuna caught. As you probably have guessed by now, the overall champion boat in the over 8 metre category was the Vatican with 210 released fish. Champion boat in under 8 metres was Yippee Ki 147 fish, Diz. So that is a huge effort. Now let's get into the money side of things. So the Calcutta auction was bidded on the Friday night, am I correct? And the total prize was a touch over 100 grand, am I correct?
Yes, that was first prize. So I think total amount of money raised in the Calcutta auction was something like $144,000. And yes, first prize was about 108 grand. So it was breaking records, obviously, for the Tuna Classic. Last year it was just a tick under 100 grand, and I think they were very hopeful to get it over 100 grand, but to smash it by that much and get up to 144, I don't think anybody could have possibly expected that. So it was a huge effort from all crews. As we know, they increased the amount that they donated to the runaway brides from the Variety Bash. I've seen firsthand the passion from those two, Deb and Sandra, from the runaway brides, and it is an amazing cause, and the amount of money they raise is excellent, and for them to put a bit more money in like that, I think is a wonderful thing for the comp, Rohdey.
Very good. I certainly agree. They were passionate about helping the community last year. Now, the winner, James Gogan, on board the Vatican, 19.1 kilos was the gilled and gutted weight of their winning fish. They took out first prize, 70%. As I said, touch over 100 grand. Second prize, catfish, Tanya Clark was the angler and 18.1 kilos. And third prize, Sweet Surrender angler Craig Welfare at 16.8 kilos.
Yes, unbelievable. There were some really good fish weighed in. To be honest, the catfish, when they weighed it, I thought, geez, I reckon that's probably going to get it. And then when they weighed in the fish for the Vatican, it was just a fat, plump, big tuna, and I think it was 19.9 kilos, and going that big on 10 kilo line class was a pretty epic effort.
All right, Diz, that is a very good wrap on the Port Lincoln Tuna Classic. Now, the last thing I need to ask on this. Now, I left you with one instruction, and that was don't stuff it up and make sure you get me invited on a boat next year. How'd you go on that front?
Yeah, look, we'll wait and see, mate. I mean, it was all a bit of a blur, to be honest, on Sunday night when people were probably talking about what their plans may have been for next year. But I tell you what, we had a bloody great time. Tony said at one point, he said, is this the best charter you've ever been on? And I just said, mate, this was the best bloody weekend I've ever had. 138 fish. It was unbelievable. Like I say, the weather just turned it on. And we should definitely say, look, I got there on Thursday night, lent a hand to Steve and Ash on the Friday, run a few errands here and there, and just look, seeing the amount of effort that goes on in the background. I was really there for such a small portion for that comp. I can only imagine all of the work and organisation that goes into leading up, and it's just a really well-organised comp. It wouldn't be easy to have that many boats out. They stay out overnight. They get the fuel barge out there. They put on a feed for everyone. There's beers out there. The whole works. It wouldn't be an easy comp to organise, and seeing some of the work that goes on behind the scenes firsthand, a real shout-out to those two for all the effort that goes into making the comp run as smooth as it does.
Here it is. I am very jealous, and fingers crossed I'll be there next year.
Yeah, we'll book it in, mate. I reckon we might go for a week on the Eyre Peninsula and see if we can't con Tony into taking us out for a pre-fish. What do you reckon? Very good. All right, Diz, we do have a couple of other things to touch on in this fishing report. The SA Carp Frenzy was held the week before, I reckon, Diz, and we've got the total numbers of fish here. So this is up at Lake Bonnie. So they had 1,020 participants this year, and they caught 4,047 kilos worth of carp. That's a phenomenal number. It's not quite as much as they've caught the last 3 years, have been just over that. So it's a little bit down, but still a hell of a lot of carp to get out of the system. Biggest fish went 78 centimetres. That's a good fish. seriously good fish. And I'm sure there was some people that had a wonderful weekend out there just smashing the carp and no doubt enjoying everyone's company at the same time.
Exactly right, Diz. And lastly, in this fishing report, obviously there's plenty of other fishing. The squid are still going well. I'm hoping blue swimmer crabs are going well still, Diz, because I want to get some of them at Easter. But the last actual definitive report I have for you, Diz, is this billfish video that a man named Scott Graham shared on the KI Fishing Scene Facebook page, and we then shared that again. It was a billfish at Penneshaw. Can you talk me through that?
Unbelievable. Must have got lost.
It's one of those things, like we talk about, dolphin fish and, that turning up at Port Augusta sort of from time to time. And here a lot of people were saying it was a swordfish. It certainly fitted the bill for a swordfish, but it could have been a marlin, who knows. But we'll run with swordfish because that seemed to be the common theory. But turning up at Penneshaw, these strange things just seem to happen from time to time.
Yeah, they do. And look, I tend to subscribe to the theory that these days, with how easy it is to capture footage of it, that probably some of these weird and wonderful sightings have happened for a very long time. But just when you get something as rare and unique as that and you put it into the Facebook algorithm, it just goes wild and gets a bit viral, for want of a better term. So, that was some stunning footage, Rohdey, and I'm sure it probably won't be the last time we see some weird things. Sometimes, that footage of the Glenelg Marina with a tuna swimming through there, that's always, you kind of go, oh, that's a bit weird.
Yes.
But these things do happen from time to time, don't they?
They do, Diz, and we love keeping an eye on these weird and wacky finds. So shout out to Scott Graham. That's an epic piece of footage. And Diz, mostly focused on the tuna comp, but that's a really good fishing report.
Yep, well done, guys. And, of course, as we wrap that fishing report up, we would just certainly encourage you to share all of your fishing adventures, share heaps of photos with us, jump on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get it, and you'll find us too, talking a bit of smack about fishing and having a bit of fun along the way.
All right, Diz, that's a wrap. Well done on representing the podcast over in Port Lincoln. Sounds like you had an epic weekend. You've made me and everyone else jealous. So thank you to Stephen and Ash for putting on that weekend. Thank you to Shane and Simon for joining us as guests. And Diz, it's been a good chat.
Good on you, mate. Hopefully not too many sort of weird COVID-ish, not that we've got COVID, but joining each other virtually. I still do enjoy cracking a frothy with you in the pool room.
All right, mate. We'll see you face-to-face next time.
Cheers, guys.
All right, all good.
Rohdey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.